The call came in just after 9 p.m. At first, it sounded like something officers deal with all the time. A missing child, a worried adult, a door left unlocked. But by the end of that night, one officer would make a discovery so disturbing that the moment would stay with him for the rest of his career. And the man who called for help would turn out to be the reason the little girl was never going home again. The man on the phone was 29-year-old Devon O'Brien. His voice sounded rushed, almost panicked. He told the dispatcher that he had taken a short nap just 30 minutes in when he woke up. His girlfriend's 3-year-old daughter, Charlotte Patterson, was gone. He said he checked the house. He checked the yard. He even looked around the trailer park, but Charlotte had vanished. The family dog was gone too. Devon kept repeating the same thing over and over. I don't know what happened, but when officers arrived at the trailer park, something didn't feel right. Devon O'Brien was standing in the driveway, phone pressed against his ear. Not searching, not calling Charlotte's name, not running through the neighborhood. Just standing there. One officer quietly leaned toward another and whispered something that would later become an important observation. He's not even looking for the kid. When Devon started explaining what happened, his story came out fast. Almost too fast. His words were scattered. He mentioned Charlotte's biological father almost immediately, calling him a drug addict from Cleveland. He suggested maybe the man had taken the child. Then he began talking about something completely different. His mental health. Devon told officers he suffered from bipolar disorder. He mentioned schizophrenia. He talked about lithium medication, sleepless nights, and said he hadn't slept properly for nearly 72 hours. Then he changed the subject again. Back to the dog. He asked officers if they could please be careful with the dog if they found it. Charlotte was missing, and Devon O'Brien seemed far more focused on the dog. Inside the trailer, officers began slowly searching the home. The place was a mess. Dirty clothes covered parts of the floor. Children's toys were scattered everywhere. And in the back bedroom, officers noticed something even worse. Dog feces. The smell filled the room. But what really caught their attention was the bathroom. Small drops of blood sat on the sink, more blood near the shower, and the shower itself was still wet. Before anyone even asked, Devon jumped in with an explanation. He said the night before had been rough, a mental breakdown, self-harm. He claimed he had cut himself and made a mess, and that his girlfriend Miranda forced him to clean it up. According to him, he had thrown the bloody items into bags in the back room. Then he told officers he had taken a shower earlier that evening, around 6 p.m. But one officer noticed something strange. Devon's hair was still wet, not damp in a way that suggested hours had passed. It looked fresh, like he had showered minutes ago. No one said anything right away, but the feeling inside that trailer changed. Something was wrong. Betty, rum. Outside, officers spread out through the trailer park. They checked bushes. They searched nearby yards. They looked behind fences and under porches. Anywhere a small child might wander, but a neighbor soon shared something unsettling. Before police arrived, Devon had walked over to their home asking questions. Not about Charlotte. About the dog. The neighbor didn't even know a child was missing until officers told them. At that point, police placed Devon in the back of a cruiser. Not under arrest, just contained. But Devon didn't stop talking. He called his girlfriend, Miranda Patterson. She was in Cleveland, about an hour away. And even after hearing her 3-year-old daughter was missing, she still hadn't started driving back yet. That caught the attention of investigators too. A lieutenant eventually spoke with Miranda directly. Her voice sounded calm, controlled. She told him Charlotte had wandered outside once before during the night, so maybe she had done it again. But something about the situation felt heavier by the minute. While officers searched the neighborhood, one man moved quietly along the edge of the property. Officer Orman. He was checking around a small shed next to the trailer, flashlight sweeping across shelves and storage bins. Then he noticed something. A large black plastic tote sitting high on a shelf. It looked heavy. Too heavy. Something about it made him pause. He grabbed a ladder and climbed up. The lid was slightly loose. He reached inside and instantly froze because his hand touched something soft. Something cold. Something unmistakable. A face. The radio call that followed shattered the night. 26th. 26th. Then his voice broke. She's in here. I felt her face. God. I felt her face. Officers ran toward the shed, flashlights cutting through the darkness. A ladder was moved into place. Someone climbed up and slowly opened the container. Inside, curled tightly in the dark, was a tiny body. Charlotte Patterson, 3 years old. She was cold. She was gone. Inside the police cruiser, Devon O'Brien heard everything. Every radio transmission. Every panicked voice. He began screaming from the back seat. It's not real. She has to be okay. Someone tell me she's okay. He said he loved her. He said she was beautiful. He said he had always wanted to be her father. Then, almost unbelievably, as officers processed the horror they had just found, Devon asked something else. He asked if someone could please be gentle with his sick dog when they moved it from the front seat of his car. Minutes later, Devon O'Brien was handcuffed and transported to the station. Miranda Patterson eventually arrived and was taken in for questioning. When detectives told her Charlotte had been found inside a tote in the shed, murdered, Miranda collapsed in grief. She cried uncontrollably. She kept repeating the same words. It was a normal day. I just want to hold my baby again. Investigators confirmed she had left the house before 5 that morning for work. Charlotte had been alive when she left. Miranda was cleared of involvement. Devon's interview was very different. He rambled constantly, talking about trauma, medication, his father's death, sleepwalking, manic episodes. When detectives tried collecting a DNA sample, Devon suddenly stopped cooperating. He asked for a lawyer, then changed his mind. Ben sat quietly, then started talking again. He couldn't stop himself. Eventually, he told detectives something that made the entire room go silent. Devon claimed he had experienced a dream, a violent dream. In the dream, he said, a dark figure entered the home. A demon. Devon said he fought the demon with a blade, a katana, like the one he owned. He described the creature biting him. He said he beat it with a hollow stick that belonged to his father. He described adrenaline, screaming, violent. Then he said when he woke up, Charlotte was gone. But Charlotte's autopsy told investigators the real story. Blunt force trauma, strangulation, a broken rib, a deep cut along her leg that reached the bone, and one more detail, a bite mark. A human bite mark, exactly where Devon said the demon had bitten him in his dream. Point 4. His dream matched Charlotte's injuries. Investigators also discovered something devastating on surveillance footage. Minutes before calling 911, Devon had placed a large tote into his car. He drove out of the trailer park. 10 minutes later, he returned. Then he called 911. And during the call, when he told dispatch he needed to pause to carry his sick dog inside, he was actually removing the tote from his car and placing it in the shed. Charlotte was inside. Devon O'Brien pleaded guilty to aggravated murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. But the moment that still lingers from that night belongs to Officer Orman. The officer who reached into that dark container and felt the face of a child who should have had her entire life ahead of her. People who work with him say he rarely talks about it, but when he does, he always says the same thing. She was so small. Charlotte Patterson was 3 years old. She loved horses. She talked like a grown-up, her mother used to say. She had an entire future waiting for her, and the man who stole it from her was the one who called 911 asking for help finding her.